You're really good at looking at the camera. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
It's like he's got like a real professional here all of a sudden. I feel like
he doesn't need this motion.
No, I've learned to view the camera as maybe the only person in the world that understands me.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, like when it seems like I'm crying out for help, I'm not. I'm talking to a friend, which is that camera lens.
Today we are visited by Mythical Chef Josh from Mythical Kitchen to see what would happen if we let him just make a regular meal. So we made guajillo chili braised beef chuck, stuffed it into a tortilla with beans and cheese, and then deep fried the whole dang thing and served it with sour cream and salsa. Let's find out if it was tasty. Spoiler alert, no duh, it was delicious.
Today on Dope Panic Pantry, we are making beef chimichangas with Mythical Chef Josh. You might know him from the internet that you're currently on. I was on Josh's show, and he made me a whole multi-course Skittles meal, and I kept saying, boy, you are so good at making food that I really want to see what happens if you make food without a gimmick attached to it.
Yeah.
And so we are having you on the show today, and I said, what do you want to make? And you said you used to make chimichangas for a living, and now you want to make one again.
I don't know if it's considered for a living if I only lost a lot of money doing it, but no, I did. This is right before I started working for Mythical. I had just finished my cookbook, culinarybrodown.com, finding it on Amazon. It's terrible. I mean, truly bad. Anyways, I was so burnt out after writing that I was like, oh, I'm just arrogant. What if I can succeed in the catering or pop-up world that I know nothing about? I had a booth called Stony Bologna Artisanal Chimichangas. So anywho, I lost about $5,000 in a month, and then luckily I got hired at Mythical. You take a burrito, you drop it in the deep fryer.
Yeah.
That's a fun time for everybody. The kids love it. It's healthy because it's got macros in it, and so it's good post-workout recovery food.
Are they a Mexican-American invention? What is the deal with the chimichanga?
So the name chimichanga is a real Sonoran dish, but it's not a deep-fried burrito. It's just
It's like a chimichanga from Sonora Town.
Exactly. So that's where it comes from, but then the actual chimichanga became a Tex-Mex staple, which in very American fashion, we're like, you mean we can deep fry it? But I grew up eating these because my very like Midwestern, I can say white trash, that's part of my culture. My very white trash parents were like, oh, you put Lowry's taco seasoning, slow cooker, pot roast, wrap that up in a tortilla, deep fry it. So I grew up eating a lot of chimichangas, which is how I became a large beefy teen.
All right, so the first thing we want to do is start softening up our guajillos.
Guajillo chilies, typical de-seed them. Like, I'll kind of just take it and I'll rip it and I'll just use my hands to take the spine and the seeds out. You've met me. Like, anytime somebody tells me there's a rule about cooking, I'm just like, oh, that's BS.
Yeah.
But chilies are one of those things that, like, the seeds actually get really bitter and astringent.
Do you want to do it over that?
I forgot. I started putting the seeds in there. It's been a rough night, man. The Benihana got me. You want to hydrate these because we're going to blend them, and this is sort of going to be used as a cooking liquid. The idea is we're going to use the term braise. That sounds fancy in French. We're just going to, like, make it wet and hot for a long time.
How do you say braise in French?
Braise. You could drop this in a slow cooker. The idea is for it to be, like, pretty easy. Couple spices. Got, like, oregano, cumin, salt. Gonna just shred up an onion so it melts in there, and then you're gonna blend the chilies with the water to create that cooking liquid, and then you just like leave it covered in an oven for between like, I don't know, 90 minutes to 3 hours. I told you way too long.
You told me 4 hours, and I was like, I'm gonna check it after
What
an hour and a half.
temperature did I say 4 hours?
325?
That's so hot to be in for 4 hours.
And it's not that much liquid.
No, listen, man. I just cook with vibes.
So I'm gonna grate this Monterey Jack cheese. We're big believers in grating cheese yourself here.
It's the most mildest and whitest and meltiest, which is what you want for this. You just want goo. All right, beans. Should we get on some beans?
Sorry, we're gonna finger blast Ben real quick.
Sorry, man. There's a lot of cheese, man. But Julia really likes when I just feed her hand slices of cheese while she's on the couch working. She'll be like on a phone call and I'll just come feed her little cheese nubbins, and that's how I show my love.
Do you want to talk about, you had a very specific burrito tortilla?
Problem is, people are trying to make restaurant-style burritos, which are generally gigantic. The only place that sells tortillas that are both like thin enough, delicious enough, and big enough that is national is Guerrero. The only other competitor is Mission, and those are like that Tex-Mex style,
they're kind of
baking powdery, really just floury, cakey, doughy, slightly risen. But Guerrero Riquisimas is like a genuinely awesome and functional burrito tortilla that's available nationwide.
Fun fact, this is from Pedes and Barnett, a local farm here in California.
Can I smell your meat? This is
I
gorgeous,
patted it
man.
dry already, but it might need another little.
Nikes.
We're gonna cut this up, and then
that way you can get more Maillard reaction on it. That's good. We're gonna just shred it down. There's a lot of good fat in there, man.
We got cumin, oregano, and salt and pepper.
Cumin, though used very sparingly in actual Mexican food, it is used incredibly heavily
In Tex-Mex.
In Tex-Mex and a lot of just Americanized foods, Americanized Mexican food. Like a Lowry's taco seasoning is just citric acid and cumin. So for me, if I'm making something that's like reminiscent of my childhood, we're not doing a legit like birria de res, something like that. I'm just gonna dump some cumin
We're
in there.
making Mexican-American food today. Oh wait, your hands were already meaty too, right?
Yeah. So all this is contaminated.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay. How's that looking for cumin?
That's good. Can I smell it? It is cumin. And I don't like to wear gloves because, I don't know, a lot of like internalized toxic masculinity. You know what I mean? And growing up, they were already like, oh, like, guys don't cook. And I'm like, the restaurant world is entirely men, and it's actually a problem. And they're like, no, that's what girls do. And so I already, have a complex about that. And then that's really how I got into lifting. And then, what was the question?
All right, so we're gonna get this to what, a nice medium high kind of a deal?
That sounds good, yeah. How much is 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil actually?
It's like,
Because that's what I always just say.
I would say it's
It's
about
like the perfect amount.
that.
You're gonna say sear it on all sides, but then in actuality, you're gonna
So sear one side.
sear
and
one
then
side, flip
braise
it over, and then just get bored, and then pour all the stuff in.
100%.
Should we blend the chili liquid?
What do you think the biggest secret is to a happy life?
Biggest secret to a happy.
We're crowding the pan on this, right?
Definitely. One person can only do so much.
Well, I was like, are we gonna do this in stages? Like, probably not.
No. Again, this is going inside a deep fried burrito. It just smells freaking good, man.
It's just good beef.
It's good beef. My cooking style has always been about getting the best product and really letting the ingredients shine.
Well, that's why, like, you don't use off-brand Twinkies. You use the real thing.
Use the real thing. That's nicely
You know
seared,
what?
man.
I'm feeling real good about this.
That's good stuff. Hell yes.
Is this called making it rain, Josh?
I think that is. I don't know, man. I'm more of like a stand outside of strip clubs and smoke cigarettes while being like socially awkward. Should I toss this?
Yeah.
It sounds like it's seared pretty well. There you
And then the
go.
onions kind of give you the deglaze all on their own.
Yeah, man. And I love the onions when they're sliced thin like that because they're basically just gonna melt into the whole braise.
Yeah.
And then what the onions are doing is they're kind of just like giving you some extra like fiber and substance for the flavor to hold on to.
Add the chilies right in.
I think we just add the chili water right in. Give it a nice little shake. Yeah, that's gonna be some good stuff.
This is simmering away into the oven at 325 and let it cook until cooked, probably like an hour and a half. All right. So we're gonna deep fry our chimichangas. So what we're gonna wanna do is get our oil heating up for that.
So we got pinto beans. We've drained these, we've rinsed them because I'm convinced there's can stink.
For this, you could use anything. You could use Lowry seasoning salt. You could use chicken bouillon powder. You could use Lipton onion soup mix. This is a unfried bean. There's no MSG in it, unfortunately.
What?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Why? Okay, no. Okay, so it has disodium guanylate, so that's the same thing.
Oh.
Okay, so here's the fun thing. Like MSG is just one type of glutamate, right? With
Right.
what? Like it's a very specific chemical.
And it exists in like tomatoes and Parmesan cheese. And
Exactly,
things like that.
but people are so spooked by it that if you put like no MSG, you suddenly seem cool. But you can use things like disodium guanylate, disodium inosinate that are literally that's known as beef extract.
Oh.
And so that's why it's in the French onion soup mix.
It's like when a Kind bar says evaporated cane juice. I'm like, yeah.
If only
'cause-
there were another word for what
Yeah.
evaporated cane juice is. Yeah. Alexa, turn on.
As you plug it in.
No. Oh no. There it goes. Didn't measure anything. You never know how much water you're gonna want in there. That's looking pretty good.
I like that it like kept its swirl like a nice sorbet. So this is now I made this last night. You want this kind of shredded up, right? A little salty,
Very
but
shreddy.
nice flavor, right?
That's right. I like to keep the tortilla constantly moving, do like a bit of a DJ spin. Come with me, we're coming. Oh boy. Get a little assembly line going. All right, the way I likes to do it, I'm taking over, sorry, no. I like to put like a bed of beans, because to me this is the glue. And then you're just gonna lay out like a solid core. You don't want to
Just cleaning
overfill
up after
these.
you in here real quick.
Because these are like snacking size, right? How do you feel about these ratios? It's a
It
pretty
looks
like,
good. I think people overstuff burritos, and that's
I
a
agree with
general
that.
issue.
hold on. Trying to like
You
line
don't
this
do a
up.
pinky tuck?
Trying this up. Well, I used to do more of that, but then I kind of like the fully like lined up, this
Oh,
like
yeah.
gets here. So if you tuck it in the pinky, then you're getting like a smaller fold.
What if you
this
did
way-
it Chipotle style where it was the shape of a softball?
Dude, they're just like diapers now.
And then, little
All right.
seal job right there.
Yeah, but if you sear it off like this, the steam is actually going to glue the tortilla fold together, and then it's just going to be indestructible, and you can drop it in this dangerous thing of oil. Heck yeah, dude. It goes quick. It goes quick. You got a constant
tell me.
movement. You got to constantly spoon the oil over the top. I think we pull it. I think we pull it. That's a good looking chimney to me, man. Was the heat of the moment. Tell me what my heart is. Heat of the moment. Look
at her thighs.
This is like a lot more steps than just eating a good burrito.
It is.
You know what I mean?
But it's better for you because it seals in all the nutrition.
Oh, that does look really good, man. They're a good size. I mean, they're like nice and discreet, which I love. Can I just dunk it?
Yeah.
Had to go quick. Oh, dude, that is hot and that is good. That salsa. Dink it and sink it. Yeah.
That, are we allowed to say that on another channel? That's real good.
I mean, that's real good. Do you think
The sour cream is key.
deep frying it makes it better or worse?
It depends on what you're making. This was designed to be a deep fried man.
Yeah.
If I were making this just a regular burrito, I would have made it differently.
How would you have made it differently?
God damn it, I was worried you weren't going to ask that. It's funny, I don't really make burritos at home that much, kind of think of it.
What? It's like 80% of my diet. I went a full month just eating a homemade burrito every single day.
This
The
is
time.
truly outstanding, to be honest.
Well, look at the grease. Just a little bit of that fry oil got in there. It's cheesy, it's greasy. The beans give it like such a lovely little texture in there.
Yeah.
It's just silken.
This is truly lovely.
Yeah. I gotta rinse myself. Can I just take a shower here?
Well, we made chimichangas on the show, a la Josh Scherer, and they were Scherer?
How have you been saying it the whole time?
I think I just Scherer.
Yeah, that's good. Sure.
Well, thanks for coming on the show. We made beef chimichangas, and they were delicious. Truly, truly lovely.
I don't feel so good, man.